How's it going, fish fanatics? Austin here with another Fintastic Freaks video. So as 2020 wraps up here, why not go ahead and wrap up the tank tour series here. We have 4 tanks with 6 different species of fish to show off in order to do so, so let's do it. And make sure you stick around to the end, as I'm gonna give you a little sneak peek of something that might be coming here for 2021. The first fish I'll go show you is the newest addition to the fish room, and this is a black dragon beta, who I already have a name for, with the black and white. He looks like a panda to me. Panda. And Panda there, hanging out by the sponge filter back there, lives in this 6.5 gallon semi-hex. I just call it a 7-gallon hex. As you can see, plenty of filtration. The sponge that he's swimming around back there is a 25-gallon sponge. He's also got an internal power filter that does another 10. I believe in doing lots and lots of filtration. It helps you keep the water cleaner with a little less work. Otherwise, plenty of live plants. Got some wood, premium sand substrate. All these plants were gifted to me. I know one of them is a Italian val. We got a Java fern back here that the rhizome somehow got buried. I'll have to pull that up a little bit. But yeah, he's the new guy. Again, this is a black dragon beta, and I gotta tell you, that white and black on there kind of looks like a yin-yang effect on him, sorta, kinda, doesn't it? Beautiful, beautiful beta, though. Moving on to the next fish. It's a fish that we've seen a lot of glimpses of lately, but really, other than the debut video of where we got him, we haven't really talked a whole lot about him. We're gonna head on over to the table where we have these 2 40 gallons, which of course we already saw this one here with all my various angelfish in here, although not listed in the last video. We've added 3 black angels. Look at those beauties. Don't they mix so awesomely with those blue diamond platinums especially? But the real 40 we want to put our attention on is the one next door to them, and perhaps you can already see why. One of the 2 remaining pufferfish tanks is this one right here, and here's the puffer himself. This is Mushu, my dragon puffer.
Dishonor on you! Dishonor on your cow!
And this is kind of uncommon for the little guy. Mushu out and about, saying hello. How you doing, buddy? Look at the pattern and the color on him. Is he not beautiful? The spots, the yellow, the white, the black. Beautiful, beautiful puffer. He also may be checking out his new cave in there that I just added yesterday. He hasn't fully warmed up to it yet, but I think he'll really come to like it once he gets adjusted to it. Obviously, you all know pufferfish are easily my favorite species of fish to keep here. And this guy is a little different than the others, as unlike the pea puffers and Amazons and Finley my Fahaka, he, like the Congo, kind of prefers the hide. And in terms of aquascape for a dragon puffer, you're looking at one of the aquascapes that they'll really, really love. They love heavily planted tanks, as they are ambush predators in the wild. So lots of places where they can feel like they're hidden or secure from everybody else out in the water. So even a cave like this. He also likes to hide underneath that internal power filter for some reason. Maybe he likes to feel the current of the water or something. This is more like what they do, including Mushu here. He likes to hide towards the back of the tank behind all the plants here, as this is what they also do in the wild. Usually he likes to bury himself in the sand. I'm thinking of getting him a better sand substrate. This is basically just a very, very fine gravel. It's hardly qualifies as a sand, so I'm looking to get him a better substrate later. The only time he really comes to the front is when it's time to feed him. This guy especially loves krill, and he'll sometimes take down some snails and some ghost shrimp, but as you can see also swimming up here, we got some minnows in here, and in terms of the minnows, kind of an oddball to his breed, he could really care less about those. In terms of the plethora of plants I have in here, we got some hornwort, lots and lots of water sprite, got a little patch of corkscrew valsinaria right there, somehow got a crypt right there. I mean, we got plants all over in here. It's like a forest in here almost, which is how they like it though. Which after the dragon puffer means we just got one more puffer fish to show you right over here. How's it going, Finley? But before we talk about him, got one more tank that we're going to show off here. Mostly because Finley and I both had a pretty good Christmas, and got to show you some of the gifts he and I got. That and the two fish we got here inside this split 29-gallon tank are pretty awesome as well. The one swimming out in front here is a female African river jewel cichlid. Her name is Juliet. And this beautiful guy right here is Starlight, my flower horn parrot. Just look at the little blue dots and all that on him. Isn't that just beautiful on him? Juliet here kind of has the same thing, really. I mean, the blue dots are pretty similar in color. They're almost identical, really. Juliet here, the reason how come I know she's a female is, one, I've inspected her, but she's also laid eggs right there on the wood before. I am trying to find her a potential mate, or a proper Romeo, I guess you could say. Starlight here, I would have to say, is probably the most tolerant and patient fish of anybody in my fish room, as he originally had a 40 breeder to himself. In fact, it's the 40 breeder that Mushu, that we just showed, is in, because Mushu originally was going to go in that 50 corner over there, which is currently occupied by a koi beta, a blue phantom pleco, and a dozen cardinal tetras. These guys initially were living inside a 30-gallon hex tank. However, unfortunately, that tank sprung a leak, so had to find them a new home. So in here they go. But the dragon puffer certainly would not be too happy sharing this tank here with that little of space. So as small as the flower horn parrot is, this is what it's been like for the past few months. So, but at some point, we do look to give Starlight his own tank once again and make this 29 all to Juliet and a potential mate if we ever find one for her. May not show these fish as much, but beautiful, beautiful fish, and might have to do more videos on these guys in the future, as they are still really cool fish. And then there was just one tank left to show. This last tank, I'm sure some of you may have already guessed, was probably going to be the last one. Those of you that did not, though, this is a 150-gallon Fat Boy tank, and you can see the fish there right in the middle of the screen there. To those that don't know, this is the fish that is in my channel profile icon. This is Finley, my Fahaka pufferfish. Finley here, who is about 10 inches now, has about outgrown his favorite place in the tank here. While he was smaller and all that, he would actually hide within that little wood cavern nook over there. But he's getting a little big to fit in there anymore, so unfortunately probably going to have to take that out soon and find this little guy another cave. With him getting bigger too, he's getting a little less camera shy, which is nice. Here in Finley's tank, besides the vast litter of crayfish claw remains, we have a fine sand substrate. He doesn't bury himself in the sand. He'll sometimes play around in it, but I've yet to see him bury himself in it. Otherwise, though, despite that, we have some valves in here that for some reason he never likes to let them get too terribly tall. If they ever get too tall, he sometimes goes forth and just nips them down. Maybe he sometimes sees snails on there too, and maybe that's why he also trims them down. Otherwise, we got a couple Amazon sword sprouts in here. He usually leaves those alone, although whenever he has sand on him and he's ready to get it off, he likes to brush against us, which I think is just one of the funniest things ever. So Finley here had a pretty good Christmas, I would say, too, as he got quite the upgrade in filtration. We replaced his two 60-gallon sponge filters with 125-gallon grade sponge filters, so each one almost double there. And perhaps looking at that right there in the middle towards the back, you already know what his other sorts of filtration is now. Those of you that don't know what that leads to, I'll show you. There it is. Perhaps the king of all filters, or perhaps at least just canister filters. We have a Fluval FX6 canister now here on Finley's tank, and as you can see, the water, I mean, the other filters did a decent job, but this does awesome. Just look how clear that water is. It does so well you can see all the algae that I've missed scraping off on the back. So with the trusty FX6 canister, polished to the nth degree, and now the two new sponge filters, each filtering 125 apiece. The Fluval Tidal 110. Finley here, he's got enough filtration to probably get him through life. And have a pretty clean and happy life, hopefully, at that. The only thing that might happen down the road is I am considering maybe upgrading him to a 180-gallon tank if I find one, which would give him, instead of 4 feet side to side, it would give him 6 feet side to side, and still have that 2 feet front to back dimension. I think that would give him a much better home, even though this 150 would suffice just fine as well. And with Finley's tank now shown off here, all the living stock tanks have been shown off, well, I guess except for one. I also have this 25-gallon tank here, which is just home to my self-cloning crayfish, and as you can see, we have babies galore in this thing. Other than that, not much to see in there. But before we wrap this up here, I'll go ahead and show a sneak peek of a few tanks here that we have just sitting that in 2021 I got big plans for. The first tank I'll show you is a tank that's just about ready for some fish here. And it's the 55-gallon where we used to have the Lake Malawi cichlids. From a fake planet now to a real planet tank. And as you can see, we've changed the gravel from the salt and pepper sand look now to pea gravel. Also got some river rock in there. So what's going in here then, huh? Well, simple as that. That would be telling. Another vacant tank right now that we have that I plan to finally get going in 2021. In fact, it is my goal to have this thing cycling by the summer at latest. It's a 185-gallon Bowfront tank. I mean, this big tank has just been sitting here for so long. I mean, getting all the fish, obviously the puffers, I mean, moving Finley once, getting Amazons, and rearranging some stuff down here in the fish room. This tank has constantly been put on the back burner time and time again, and I think early on in 2021, it's time to finally get this thing going. As you can see right there, we got a couple of other tanks there. Those were pretty cheap deals. They got to get resealed yet, so a lot of work to be done on those guys yet. Otherwise, that's fishing, but we do have one more that I'm sure if you watch one of my more recent videos, you know is also coming to right here in this spot. Last but definitely not least, we got this big behemoth, which will be the biggest tank in the entire Fintastic fish room. This is a 240-gallon tank. All those guys that you saw in the 75 in an earlier video, they're about to get one heck of an upgrade. And there you go. This concludes the tank tour series, right in time to conclude 2020. And while I think I speak for a lot of us when I say I am so ready for 2020 to be done, at the same time, it was the first year I've had this channel, as I started in early April, and this first year's time of starting up this channel has been nothing short of a lot of fun. Getting to meet a lot of you and talking to a lot of you has been a lot of fun. Showing out the fish, and as you can see with all the tanks down here that I have yet to put things in that have almost nothing in them otherwise, lots of new stuff is coming down here yet for 2021. If you like the fish and the tanks that you saw in this video, give this video a thumbs up. And if you have a favorite fish, favorite tank, not just in this final video of the tank tours, any fish, any tank in the tank tours series, let me know what it is in the comments below. And like I said, if you had an idea for that 55, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I already know what I'm gonna put into it. But if you have an idea of what you would put in that 55, or maybe even the 185, which I plan to turn to a saltwater tank, or the 240, let me know what those suggestions would be in the comments below. And to those of you fish fam that are new to my channel, click the subscribe button to stay in the loop with everything I do on here. For as you can see, we got room for plenty of growth yet with the uninhabited tanks that I've shown you. And hopefully here in 2021, this pandemic will soon be a thing of the past, and we can go to places such as fish stores, public aquariums here in the Omaha area. As always, fish folk, thank you for the continued support and for watching this video. And here's the 2021, a new year, a new start for us all to put this crazy year of 2020 behind us. And not gonna lie, my goal in 2021 is to hopefully hit that 1,000 subs mark. But without your support right now, I wouldn't be where I am, and I thank every single one of you guys for that. And, you know, we're going to keep this going, as I said earlier. But until the next video, fish folk, have a fantastic new year. Stay fantastic.